So shout out to the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders go into Detroit, hostile territory in front of 70,000 people, basically humiliate Detroit. Um, Jared Goff, Jared Goff, I'll just put it his way. He kind of proved they're and justified why the Rams traded him to Detroit for Matthew Stafford. But this is all about Jaylen Daniels. Jaylen Daniels was sensational. He played with poise. He he let he let it come to him. He didn't go out there and panic. He took what the defense gave to him. He seized every opportunity that he had. He didn't play too big for the moment. I mean, yeah, go on and build them a state of the art stadium in DC. Go on and build them that stadium. Pay the man. Pay Jaylen Daniels. I know people are saying that Chicago should have took him number one, but Chicago still is missing some key components. Offense was solid, but defense is still a little bit shaky, and they still need to make some moves on offense. The story of the game was Jaylen Daniels poise, and then Washington mixing it up. And that's what, and I'm glad that teams then started back to running. You can put up 40 points without having to air it out 30 times, and the quarterback has to throw for 400 yards every game. Jaylen Daniels threw for, I think, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. He almost played what you would call flawless football. And the Washington Redskins are one win away from going to the Super Bowl for the first time in 30 plus years. It was almost like the spirit of Doug Williams. Even though Doug Williams is still here, but it's almost like the spirit of Doug Williams went to that stadium, you know, with Jaylen Daniels. But yeah, to see now, I don't know what's going to happen with Detroit. Detroit, to be fair, they did have 18 players on injured reserve, but with that really it mattered. It just seemed like Washington was just on a mission in that game. They was not leaving Detroit without the W, and they got the W. Jared Goff threw for like 3 interceptions. I know they were trying to make a last minute run down the field and try to see could they score a touchdown and have some miracle, onside kick and then possibly throw a Hail Mary, but we knew that wasn't going to happen. We knew Washington wasn't going to blow that game. So now Washington goes to either Philadelphia next week. Either they go to Philadelphia or they go to Los Angeles. And they're one win away from going to the Super Bowl. Now, Lamar Jackson has to take care of business versus Josh Allen. And then Kansas City, I swear, and I swear there was a play that they called with Patrick Mahomes that I think was a roughing the quarterback. I was like, man, that wasn't even remote. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I think people are getting tired of the league promoting Taylor Swift as if she's some kind of NFL owner, her and Travis Kelce. This is what pisses people off about Roger Goodell. This is what pisses the NFL off about this Taylor Swift thing. Because to me, she getting too much camera time. Okay? This is why people think this thing with Travis Kelce is sort of like ain't legit and that it's a publicity stunt. But nevertheless, we'll get to Kansas City later. We'll talk about Kansas City. The luckiest, I'm telling you, Kansas City has had, I don't know what's been on their side. Oh, I know the refs and the NFL. I just hope whoever they play next week is they officiate the game fair. I just really hope so. I really hope so. But Washington, whatever happens with this season, they need to worry about the long haul. They need to worry about building around Jaylen Daniels. When you got a quarterback like Jaylen Daniels who can get you the ball, guys line up to want to play for teams like that. And I'm going to be honest with you, the DMV needs something like this, especially DC. They need something like this. But that was a hell of a game. You wouldn't even think that Jaylen Daniels was a rookie quarterback. Washington did everything right. With the NFL, today's NFL games, I know it was what you would call a high scoring game, but they made important plays when they had to. They kept Detroit from getting within striking range. Like I said, even if they would have scored a touchdown, it just would have been highly unlikely for them to even score another touchdown with less than 30 seconds left. Like I said, you talking about basically having to recover an onside kick, and then you have to try to go for a Hail Mary. You only got one play. So, in all likelihood, wasn't going to happen. But I saw some good football today, with Kansas City. And I ain't hating on Kansas City, but you got to be honest with you. It just seemed like the Kansas City has been very lucky this season. And the referees, for the most part, have shown a lot of favoritism towards the Kansas City Chiefs. They showed it in today's game. And like I said, Kansas City has been winning games by the skin of their teeth. You can make an argument that Kansas City could have had 4 or 5, maybe even 6 losses this year, but somehow something weird happened in those games. But that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there. They're going to be playing in the AFC Championship, whether it's against Buffalo or whether it's against the Baltimore Ravens. But Jaylen Daniels, you got to pay the man. Washington has a franchise quarterback. He's not Robert Griffin III. Jaylen Daniels gets it. He's a football player. And you could tell this dude is focused on football. One thing, when you are a 21, 22-year-old guy, you have a lot of distractions outside of football. I think he needs, whatever happens this season, he needs to already start thinking about next year, getting his receiving core in order, keeping in contact with the receivers, forming a bond, sort of like what Peyton Manning had with Marvin Harrison. And as you can see, both of them are in the Hall of Fame. They need to have a rapport, some camaraderie. But yeah, Jaylen Daniels, I'm going to tell you right now, had Washington won a few more games, had Washington maybe it only lost like three games, Jaylen Daniels would have been a serious MVP candidate. And I think he will be one next year. But yeah, there you have it. So I just wanted to give a quick recap of what happened. Great game, sensational game. It's unfortunate for my people in Detroit because I got a lot of supporters in Detroit. I don't know. It's bad when a team comes in there and like puts up 40 points on you and you just can't. And it was just nothing that Detroit could do. It was just nothing they could do. And that's just the bottom line. Jaylen Daniels, he exceeded expectations. I'm not even going to say he played over his head. He just seemed to be that good, and he seemed to have figured it out. So there you have it. It's your boy Town. I'm out.